So I'd like to begin by making the assumption that I feel like a lot of us here today were involved in sports at a very young age. So by a raise of hands, does anyone relate to this? Awesome, that's exactly what I thought. I also relate to this statement, and for as long as I can remember, I've been really active in the sporting community. And for the beginning years of my life, it was ultimately all I did, and I had this really strenuous schedule for as many years as I can remember where it was. In the fall, I was playing field hockey and soccer. In the winter, I was really active in basketball, and in the spring and summer, lacrosse ate up all my free time. And you would think that somebody that was so involved, you would think that I was always having a blast. But I can honestly say that wasn't always the case. I started playing sports when I was 5, and the first sport I got involved with was soccer. And I can't say I remember a lot about my experience as a soccer star, but I can honestly say I do have this core memory that kind of highlighted how I kind of was as a soccer player, as a 5-year-old. And it deals with me sitting on the sidelines, eating all the team snacks, and the coach would turn to me, saying it was my turn to go in. And when that was said, I replied with, "No thanks, I'm good," and continued eating all the team oranges. So with this clear disinterest, you might be wondering why my parents continued to encourage me to become so involved. And I can unpack that with basically making this claim. There are a lot of benefits to getting involved with sports early on. The first point I'd like to touch on is one of the more obvious, and it deals with the physical aspects of everything, the physical benefits. So when you think of a kid, you think of somebody that's not done growing, they're still developing, and for this, they're recommended 60 minutes of exercise every day. Sports offer the perfect opportunity to fulfill this quota, and with that, they are encouraged to work on their mobility skills, strengthen their bones and their muscle, and when all this happens at this early age, it ultimately works towards decreasing the chances of getting long-term illnesses and complications later on in their life. Secondly, I'd like to make the point that early on sports benefits can be seen as extremely beneficial regarding social skills and a positive sense of mental health. And in terms of social skills, as I previously mentioned, when you think of kids, they're still growing and they're still developing. And with this growth, they're also learning how to communicate, and they're learning social skills. And with sports, when they are a part of a team, ultimately this is raising the opportunity where they're able to, for the first time, create this sense of community, and they're able to engage with their peers, they're able to basically interact with people that are the same age as them, as well as their coaches. And this is all really great. And in terms of a positive sense of mental health, this can be seen physically. So breaking that down, that basically looks like through exercise, endorphins are being released. And when these endorphins are released, ultimately what is happening is high pain tolerance is being encouraged, as well as stress levels are decreasing. So when you introduce a child to a sport at a young age, you're basically also introducing them to this positive habit that they can continue to chase and grow through the years. My last point that I'd like to make tonight regarding career and educational success in the long run. So with this, the early on stages of a child's life can be seen as extremely detrimental to who they are. All their experiences at this young age ultimately shape them and create their personality. And with that, if you put a child on a sports team early on, they are ultimately kind of, basically, they are just acting to create a future success. So with that, they are being a teammate, they're learning how to work together with their peers, and they are ultimately figuring out everyone's strengths and weaknesses. And when all this is said and done, they're creating a strategy to achieve them. They're being forced to learn what it takes to achieve this common goal. So I want to close out this night by basically making the claim that, again, it's very beneficial to be involved in sports at an early age. And I know it's not always easy. I mean, I was that 5-year-old not wanting to play. I get it, and I'm sure you guys all have similar experiences about that as well. But I think we all know someone that's going through that stage right now in our lives. And clearly we all turned out okay, I'd say. So basically, let's encourage them, because it will ensure and encourage a positive success to them in the future. Thank you.